Ahead on Daytime Buffalo, I catch up with the former News 4 anchor about her career pivot to the world of pro sports. And we talk to royalty of Buffalo's drag scene as we continue to move through Pride Month. It's all coming up right now on Daytime Buffalo. Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to Daytime Buffalo. I'm your host, Chelsea Lavelle. Well, if you've been watching Channel 4 since the early 2000s, then you might recognize our guest from her days behind the anchor desk. Welcome back, Barbara Lash, formerly Barbara Pinson. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. This is it's so cool to be like a homecoming for me.
Yes, okay, for our viewers that don't know and haven't kept up with you, do you want to talk about the career pivot you've made?
Yeah, after leaving TV, being in it for about 20 years, I decided to start helping athletes with their media readiness, with public speaking, with commentating. I just felt like it was a great way to use the talents and skills that we learn in this business, and it's been so much fun.
Yes, and you also went after your PhD. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm hiding the grays because I dyed my hair black, so there's that. But I really wanted to study the impact that we have as a media and how we basically tell the story of our basically African-American athletes. So I interviewed 30 African-American male athletes who said they come from humble beginnings, who played in the NFL. And we talked about what it's like to always be kind of confined to the same narrative over and over. And hopefully we want to expand that. And like I said earlier, I'm going to do a TED Talk at some point.
Yes, we're waiting on that TED Talk. It's apparent you've lived some lives and you have a lot of experience. So it would be really cool to just kind of pick your brain to find out all that you know. So let's talk about Dr. Barb's Speak Off that you host for the Super Bowl.
Oh man, this is a labor of love for sure. We started this 3 years ago, and it really is a public speaking competition for athletes. We're talking the guys, the significant others, and the wives, and then there's a student athlete component. And the goal behind it is really to help them elevate that story or that journey that they've had. And we do it in a way that we donate the winnings to their charity of choice. So we're going to go into our third year here soon. We've already started fundraising, but more than anything, it's just really cool to help, really elevate those stories and see them get up there and shine, especially if they're a little hesitant. I offer coaching along the way.
Yes.
So obviously I'm not a judge, but yeah, it's been really cool. It's been really cool.
Well, let's talk about what it looks like, what you do with these athletes, because you get to work with the Bills. You said it's been about 3 seasons now. You've gotten to work with them, super cool, and you've worked with the other teams. So tell us what it looks like when you go in and work with these players.
So a lot of the training that I do is with the rookies, and they're making that big jump from college to the NFL. And a lot of the guys, they have NIL deals, they have some exposure to the media, but it is different, right? And so we help them kind of navigate this new space, understand the branding component of it, the opportunities that they have in front of them, and then those tangible tools to use it and really maximize it. So we do lots of mock trainings, very interactive sessions. I always get the guys up because I feel like it's really important to not have them listen to me, but let's get up and do the things you're going to be doing like in a couple of days or a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, it's important because they're athletes, right? So they're competitive, they're in a game, but unfortunately or fortunately, part of the job is being a public figure. It's not just what you do on the field, it's how you're able to represent yourself and your team and your community off the fields as well.
It is, and a lot of the guys get that and they want to be good citizens. And so it's very fun for me to go into these spaces and work with them, and then they're so coachable too. And because it's so competitive, it just really amps up the session. And I don't think I've ever had a dull session because they're just so much fun to work with.
Can you tell us a little bit about the rookies of our team, the Bills?
I would say we are a spirited bunch. And I think it's going to be a great season because they have really already, in the short time they've been here, captivated what it means to be in the city of Buffalo. And so I'm really excited for what they're going to do, not just on the field, but off the field.
And what are some of the other teams that you've been able to work with?
I worked with the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Raiders, the Panthers, as you saw in that video, where I live now, the Giants, the Lions, my hometown team, maybe about 6 or 7 others.
How cool is this for you to be able to, I mean, you were behind the anchor desk. I'm sure you covered a little bit of sports when you're here. Clearly you had a passion for it. how did you kind of think to merge these two passions into pivoting into another part of your career?
You know, I've always just noticed that athletes, when I was a kid, I would think that, oh my gosh, they're talking to the whole world, but they didn't have that comfort level in front of the camera. And as you know, in this business, you can have a great conversation with someone, and the minute the camera goes on, it's like, whoa, there's a different person. So I wanted to just help them understand and find a comfort level in it, and also to share their stories. And it's not just the guys, the wives and significant others have amazing stories, and when the guys are done playing, a lot of the attention does go to the wife or the significant other. So we like to help amplify their voice as well.
Nice. So what's next for you?
You know, I am going to keep down this field. I started a couple different programs where it's a collection of athletes and wives where we work on our public speaking. The goal is to get guys booked in their off season, really, guys and ladies, so that we just continue down this path. And I have a new partnership coming up in a few months with a university out west that I will be happy to share it when I can.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming in. We're looking forward to that TED Talk.
Yes, you're going to hold me to that.
I'm going to hold you to that.
I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. And
Thank
viewers,
you.
if you would like to see more on Barbara's coaching, you can connect with her on social media or visit her website at coachedbyb.com. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you.